We have to mention Alexander Isak with 2 days to go till the window shuts. What can you tell us in terms of how this situation might ultimately pan out, Carve?
I've got to tell you what I've been saying for a long time is I don't think Liverpool would pay £150 million for a player. If you look at the way Liverpool act in the transfer market, pretty much all the time they are very, very disciplined and they do what they say they are going to do.
Yeah.
They're very consistent. So even with Marc Guehi, they've always said this is our valuation. Our valuation starts with a 3. It doesn't start with a 4. I don't know, maybe Steve Parish can get them to a 4. The longer it goes on, I think the more likely it is that Isak stays at Newcastle. And for what it's worth, I think it would be good for football if he does stay at Newcastle, because I, along with a lot of people, think that he hasn't behaved particularly well towards his club and the club's supporters. But I think it's up to Liverpool, and it's also up to Newcastle United to sign another forward. Because as we've been saying, everyone's bored of hearing this, but Newcastle needed to buy 2 forwards and Liverpool needed to increase their offer. Newcastle have been trying to sign 2 forwards. They've signed 1. But all the noises coming out of Liverpool have always been, we made a bid, this is our valuation of the player. We are very disciplined in the transfer market. We don't go above that valuation. Maybe they'll come back and rejig the offer. Maybe it'll be slightly higher, but I don't think they're going to come back and give Newcastle exactly what they want.
Up until now, not least at Liverpool. They've had a fantastic window so far, and it could end with the highest of highs. Not 1, but potentially 2. Marc Guehi, and I'm going to say those 2 words we've been saying every single day in this window, Alexander Isak. How likely, 1 or both?
Well, Liverpool are still interested in both of them for sure, and we've certainly not heard the last of it. I don't think Liverpool are sort of actively doing much at the moment around the Isak situation, because they will have felt that their £110 million offer was the place that pretty much they were prepared to go. We know previously they had indicated a willingness to do a deal at around £120 million. So, of course, there'll be a bit of wiggle room on their part, but I don't necessarily see them wanting to go much or any higher than that. And Newcastle have been completely clear in their stance that they don't intend to sell Isak this summer, and that they would expect something like £150 million for him. Let's see if that proves to be the case by the end of the window. Maybe they stick to their guns, or maybe there's a compromise that is to be reached. I'm not sure about this notion of new bids coming in. Maybe Liverpool sit back and see if Newcastle come to them and open the door, because Newcastle have committed a significant amount of money, 75 million euros, at least on their new signing, Voltemade, and they've made a lot of other recruitments as well in terms of Elanga and Ramsey. Obviously, Ramsdale was a loan. They brought in Thiaw from AC Milan, and they're still in the market. They've got interest in Strand Larsen and Visser. I don't know if there are other options also. And you've got to ask yourselves whether that could lead to an Isak departure for financial reasons as much as footballing reasons. The fact that he doesn't want to be there, clearly he's intent on making this Liverpool move, and it seems he expects it to happen before the deadline. It feels there's an increasing expectation across the industry, but that doesn't really count for that much, that he will go. One condition has clearly been met in terms of Newcastle describing conditions for sale in their statements, and that's Voltemade coming in. But not all of the conditions, which is another attacking reinforcement, we think, and having a suitable offer. And the question in this last 24 hours or so is, will those other 2 conditions be met to allow him to complete what he would like to do, join Liverpool, and Liverpool's interest remains firm.
So I wonder where Marc Guehi will be in 2 days' time. Will he be at Crystal Palace? Will he be at Liverpool? What can you tell us?
I think it's more likely that he'll be at Liverpool because Liverpool have made an offer for him. The offer is £35 million plus a 10% sell-on clause. The big question is that acceptable to Crystal Palace? I think it's very, very close to being acceptable. We've been telling you over the last few weeks that Crystal Palace want a figure starting with a 4. They value him at least £40 million. But I think if Liverpool were to say, OK, we'll give you 35 plus 5 in add-ons, maybe then Crystal Palace would be tempted to do a deal. The other really important thing for Crystal Palace is you heard from Oliver Glasner yesterday. He made it clear. He thinks it's too late to sell Marc Guehi. He thinks it's too late to bring in a replacement who is as good as experienced as Marc Guehi.
It's not his decision though, is it?
Well,
he might say, I want this player to stay, but ultimately it's
the decision. It is the decision of the people who run the club.
Right.
He does have a say in it, but I think
he has a say.
He has
but not
a
the ultimate say.
He doesn't have the ultimate say,
Yeah.
but I think Crystal Palace need to bring in replacements.
Yeah.
If they're going to sell Marc Guehi, they're not going to say to their head coach, your leader, your best defender, one of your key players is going after Eberechi Eze has gone and we're not bringing in replacements. They're working hard to bring in replacements. They've been trying to get Joe Gomez from Liverpool as well, on loan, but Liverpool are saying that is not possible at all. We're not interested in that deal.
In terms of Marc Guehi, yeah, an offer. £35 million was formalised, as I revealed yesterday, and Palace have got to decide what to do about this. Do they want to sell him? Can they get a replacement? I think that will be key. Will he play today? I think that's also a factor in the equation. If the clubs reach an agreement and they've got good relations, talks have been cordial from what I hear, then Marc Guehi would be keen on the move for sure.
Kostas Tsimikas has officially finalised a season-long loan move to AS Roma from Liverpool, marking a significant shift in the Greek defender's career after 4 seasons at Anfield. The 29-year-old left-back arrives in Rome in search of more consistent playing time, having fallen down the pecking order at Liverpool under Arne Slot. With the emergence of young left-back Milos Kerkez and the return of veteran Andy Robertson, Tsimikas found first-team opportunities limited in the early weeks of the 2025-26 Premier League campaign. As a result, both club and player agreed that a loan would be the best path forward. Roma acted swiftly to secure his services, entering talks in late August and reaching a full agreement just days before the close of the summer transfer window. The deal, confirmed by multiple sources, is a straight loan with no option to buy, and Roma will cover Tsimikas' full wages for the duration of the season. Despite Liverpool's initial preference for a permanent transfer, they eventually agreed to the loan as the Italian side offered guaranteed playing time and a prominent role in their plans. Tsimikas landed at Ciampino Airport in Rome on August 30th around 3:30 p.m. local time, where he was greeted by club staff and immediately underwent medical checks to finalize the move. The Greek international will bring much-needed depth to Roma's left flank, especially following the recent departure of Arne Slot, who joined PSV Eindhoven. Tsimikas is expected to compete directly for a starting spot, offering manager Daniele De Rossi, or the current head coach, depending on final confirmation, a reliable option with experience at both domestic and European levels. Known for his work rate, aggressive overlapping runs, and ability to deliver dangerous crosses, Tsimikas could prove to be a valuable asset for Roma as they look to strengthen their squad in the battle for Champions League qualification. Since joining Liverpool from Olympiacos in 2020, Tsimikas made over 60 appearances in all competitions, often deputizing for Robertson and stepping up in crucial matches, including domestic cup runs and Champions League group stage ties. Now, with a fresh opportunity in Serie A, Tsimikas will aim to rejuvenate his career in Italy. Roma, who have been active in the market and focused on squad depth ahead of a long season that includes European commitments, see the Greek international as a low-risk, high-reward signing.